Hello, our first practical is to study the components and accessories of computers. This is the block diagram of computer. In the center, it is our central processing unit. On the left hand side, it's a input unit, and in the right hand side is the output unit. Input unit consists of all the devices that are attached to the CPU for receiving the input. It includes keyboard, mouse, any microphone, etc. And on the other hand, output unit consists of all the devices which display the output being currently processed by the CPU. Example, your monitor, your speaker, your projector, your printer. These are the output devices. In this block diagram, you can see there are three kinds of lines. First one is the dotted line. Dotted line represent the control, flow of control. uh, in the CPU there are three sections. First is arithmetic and logical unit, second one is the control unit, third one is the memory. The control unit function is to receive input, send output, transfer data from ALU to memory, memory to ALU, and all these operations are represented by the dotted lines. This is called control unit. It's a core component of a CPU. And arithmetic logic unit is perform arithmetic operations like addition, multiplication, subtraction, comparison, less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to. These are the arithmetic operations. And about memory we will discuss later. Second line represent double headed lines. It's flow of information. Information is just the processed data. You give some kind of input to computer, it processes it and gives the output. This is the output from memory to output unit. And also ALU also gives output to memory. It is represented by double headed line, and it's the information. Third line is the representing data, single line, and you give input, it goes to memory, then it goes to ALU represented by single line. So these lines represent flow of data, information and control. This is the block diagram computer. And now let's discuss all those components which constitute the modern computer system. First one is the input devices. This is the keyboard, and there are a lot of keys in this keyboard. You can see on the top side there are function keys highlighted in yellow colors from F1 to F12. Function keys have different functionalities. Like in laptop you can control the sound, you can control the brightness, you can turn the Wi-Fi on, off, etc. In Windows there are special operations assigned to these keys, like F2 key is used to perform rename operation, F1 key is used for help, F5 is used to refresh, F8, F10 escape. These keys are used for boot while installing operating system. And there are alphabetical keys from A to Z, and here it is also mentioned as a typewriter keys. Alphabetical keys, numeric keys, special symbols like $sign, %sign, and these are called alphanumeric keys. You can see this one. And there are special keys like the arrow keys, control, shift, alt and enter. These are the special keys. On the right hand side it consists of a numeric keypad, mostly used by accountants and those persons which generally deal with numbers. It's a kind of calculator. All the arithmetic operations are here. You can provide values, numeric values, etc. And this is the basic layout of a keyboard. This is an input device. You can provide alphabetical data as well as numerical data to the computer, and these are special keys like insert, home, page up, page down, which we will discuss later during our practicals, what these keys do perform. And next our is input device mouse. There are two things. First one is the pointer. This is the pointer you are noticing right now, and this pointer is controlled by the device which we called mouse. It can also be controlled by a touchpad, and in case of desktop or laptop, generally an external peripheral device which is used to control the pointer, we call it mouse. Generally it is having 3 buttons. Middle section here, it's called scroll bar. You can move something up, like web page, up, down, zoom in, zoom out using the scroll button. And there is left button this side and right button this side. When right button is got clicked, you get access to pop-up menu. A small menu appears like this one, and various options regarding that particular software application or operating system appears there. And the left button is generally used to open something, execute something, etc. Mouse comes in various variant. This is the older version where you can see this green ball. There was a ball for tracking the movement. It's called mechanical mouse, to track the location of the pointer. And this one is the wireless mouse. And nowadays all these mouses uses laser light, something like new technology to track the location of the pointer. This is the touchpad or trackpad, generally used in the laptops. And from this region out here, you can use your palm to change the position of the mouse pointer. And this is the left button and this is the right button. Its functionality is same as that of a mouse. Is called touchpad or touchpad generally in laptops. And this is joystick. Joystick, you can also say remote, gaming remote. And on the right hand side, it is the simulation of a real world object. It could be a car, it could be a helicopter, anything, for training purposes. And generally joysticks are used to control the object in the simulated environment. You play games, you control your object, vehicle, person, anything using this device. Touchpad is not touchpad, it's joystick. Next input device is the scanner. You have your documents like degrees, mark sheets, your photographs, any kind of hard printed document. If you want to scan or add it into your computer, there are two options. First one is the camera and the best one is the scanner. Using scanner, you can create a soft copy of any kind of document, high resolution qualities of any particular document, like your degrees. I have created my soft copies of all my academic documents using scanners. your notes, anything. And main benefit I think of scanner is that when you reproduce it, you reprint it or share it with anyone, the person on the other side gets the high resolution qualities of that particular images. This is the scanner. Sometimes this scanner is also embedded on the printer, and but as far as scanner is concerned, it's an input device. You can scan any paper, document, photograph using it. Our next device is the microphone. For recording this lecture, I am also using Snowball microphone, and it's an input device to record the audio. The audio gets recorded, and in case of computers, we used this type of condenser microphone. It converts our analog signal to digital signal, and there are other microphone like you have seen in these stages where it's directly attached to the speaker. Some person speaks something and it forward that data to the speakers. There are those we call analog, but in case of computers the microphone are digital, because the computer is right now we are using is a digital computer, and microphone is used to record audio, any kind of audio. Next input device is MICR, magnetic ink character recognition. Generally I have seen its application in banking sector. On the left hand side, this is the checkbook, and you can see some bold letters here. It's printed in using magnetic ink. These magnetic ink characters are recognized by a special kind of device which we call MICR, used by the bank personnel. Some kind of information like but where is the bank located, what is the IFSC code, what is the person name, bank specific details are embedded using magnetic characters on this checkbook, and it get encoded or translated using a special device which we call MICR, so that the bank personnel doesn't have to go through all that details. Like this one, you can see all these characters are written using magnetic ink, and this special device MICR can recognize it. It saves lot of time during transactions for customer as well as bank. It's the same application be seen in answer sheet provided during entrance exams, like your application number, special kind of application, your data is written using this sheet type of ink. Next is the graphic tablet. This particular device is used by the artist. You want to draw something, you can draw using mouse, but if you want more precision, more control, this is the option. You can design your custom fonts, you can draw any kind of objects, painting, photo editing in the advanced level. If you mostly used by the illustrator and professionals. This is the graphic tablet. This is here from this corner to this corner. This is the region you can draw something, and this is the stylus or pen, and it's also an input device to draw something. Basically it controls the movement of the pointer, and if the movement of the pointer is controlled by accurate precision, you can draw anything like trees, like game characters, photo editing using Photoshop, anything you can do. Next is OMR, optical mark reader. on the right hand side, this is the answer sheet or response sheet of the candidate giving an entrance exam. Here person has to select among multiple choice questions. There were given 4 options and only one is correct. Person fill all the details like his date of birth, his roll number, and his responses, like which is the correct answer for question number 25. Say I say option B, option C for question number 3rd, so on. Then using this device, optical mark reader, we can collect the candidate response, which choice he has chosen from the given choices. Like question number 27, suppose he highlighted using blue or black pen option C, then it will recognize option C as the candidate response for question number 27. This is the OMR, optical mark reader, basically also an input device. Next is the barcode reader. Barcode, as per as this presentation is showing, it's a one-dimensional barcode. Two-dimensional barcode you might have also seen, like making an UPI transaction, online transaction, but this barcode is also used, and its advanced version is square 2D barcode. And what barcode does, it's a combination of just black and white. On a white paper, black lines are printed or special patterns are made, and some kind of information is being embedded in that particular code. Like in this barcode, light bulbs, information about light bulbs, what is 100 watt, how much lifespan does it has, 1800 hours, and its intensity, how much light intensity does it possess, 1000. Generally barcodes are used in stationery, in making warehouse, maintaining warehouses, etc. And on the right hand side, this is the barcode reader. You might have seen this is in the shopping centers, in the grocery stores, and this device decode all this information from that particular product and send it to computer. It's also an input device, barcode reader. Next input device is the DSLR camera. We can say digital camera as well. It records your photographs as well as videos, and you can send those documents to the computer. Here I have mentioned only DSLR camera, but it digital camera, this section includes all the cameras, the one attached to laptop, the one attached to your smartphone, any kind of instrument which record your images or video, we call it camera. Digital camera is something which attached to digital computers and store information in digital form. So next section is our output devices. Input devices were those which using which we collect data. We can collect your audio, we can send some kind of alphabet numeric data, we can capture images, we can capture videos, we can control the movement of our pointer, we can draw anything. All those devices correspond to input devices which send some kind of data, some kind of instruction to the computer. We call it input devices. Next one is the output devices. All those devices which display the information being processed in the computer, we call it the output devices. The very basic and first device is the monitor. On the right hand side, this one, This is the CRT monitor, cathode ray tube. You might have learned in the +1 +2 cathode ray tube. This was the technology, and primitive technology. This black screen is made up of phosphorus. When an electron gun strike at very high speed at this region, the screen get illuminated and we get images. These were very bulky, very much energy was consumed by them, and the resolution, how much this is diagonal from this point to this point, image, bigger image, smaller image, how much image we can get, like generally this resolution was below 1360 multiplied by 768. Now these were replaced by LCD, liquid crystal display, uses some kind of liquid, and LCD was also replaced by LED monitors. Light emitting diode were used here, and this was having also some limitation, like some power consumption issues, and in case of LCD monitors only a particular angle, like you can say from this region might you can see shady, not clearly visible if you see at any another perspective, another angle. Same problem is with LED display, but it's more compact and more power efficient and more higher resolution of graphics and images can be seen on LED display. Next thing is so this is the first output device. Second output device I have not mentioned is the speaker. Third is the printer. And if I talk about printers, the most of the printers you see in the stationery shop is the laser printer, and inkjet and laser printer, these are the mostly widely used printers in today era. But if we goes into details, printer can be classified into two types. The first one is the impact printer, and second one is the non-impact printer. The main difference is impact and non-impact is there is a object in printer which we call print head, like your hand. You use your hand to write anything on the paper. In the same manner, the printer uses a print head to draw something, to write something on the paper. It's called print head. And in case of impact printer, there is a direct contact between the paper and the print head. But in case of non-impact printer, there is not a direct contact between the paper and the printer. And impact printer, these were the primitive technology, and non-impact printer, recently these were came into existence, but initially we used impact printer. First one, initially we used line printer and character printer. Character printer prints one character at a time, one character, and line printer print is one line at a time. And in case of non-impact, it prints whole page at a time, in case of like laser. Now let's see how it looked like. And impact printer, this is the line printer, and single line is printed at a time. And drum printer, you can see this is the drum, and all the alphabets, all the numbers are embedded, punctuation marks are embedded on this drum. and this is the print head, I say, and this is the paper, and this black thing is the ribbon, ink ribbon. This print head, or you can say hammer, when strike on a particular alphabet or symbol on this print head, it get printed on the paper. This is what I understand is working mechanism. Some kind of soaked ink ribbon, this is the print head, this is the paper, it gets striked and alphabet gets on that paper. Next is the chain printer on the left hand side. This printer also prints one single line at a time, and this white thing is the paper, and this is the print head, and here you can see these are the alphabets on the edges of the chain are printed, and these are the print head elements used to strike on particular alphabets, and line gets printed. Chain printer. And dot matrix printer, I can sense you have seen this in, this is IDBI bank, ICICI bank, in banking sector. It's a character by character printer, prints single character at a time. Dot matrix printer, you can see to print B, he has to process this column first, then this row, then this row, then this row, and this column. Single character, to print single character, multiple dot 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 operations were being performed, and it was very slower. Prints a single character at a time. It's dot matrix printer, and this is the working mechanism. Here is the ink ribbon, this is the print head, and this is his body, and somewhere on this frame is the alphabets. Next is the daisy wheel printer. In daisy wheel printer is also a character printer, and on the edges of this printer are the alphabets printed, and when it strike with the ribbon, the alphabets gets printed, and this is also a character by character printer. Then there are non-impact printers. These are the printers of the modern era. They are the fastest from the character printer as well as the line printer. This is the laser printer, widely used and very fast operation, prints lot of pages in just single minute. Its operation, here is a laser beam, this is the print head, these are the stack of papers, and ink, dry ink is used in these printers in a powder form, and on this roller all the alphabet symbols and special patterns are embedded, and using heat operations it gets printed. Its speed is very fast. Generally I have seen black and white printer as a laser printer, and only single cartridge black color is used in printing operation. These are very costly, and printing speed is fast, but these are laser printers suitable only for documents. If you want to print textual documents, not suitable for graphics or higher quality resolution images. And these are the cartridges. Cartridges are something that hold ink. In case of a laser printer, the dry ink is used, and these are the cartridges. 4 primary colors are used in printing: black, this is the cyan, this is the magenta, and this is the yellow. In case of monitor, I have discussed earlier, where is the monitor, only three colors are used: red, green, and blue. From those 3 basic colors we can constitute millions of colors. on the display. But in case of printers, if you want to print anything in color or anything, only these 4 basic colors are used. Using these 4 colors, we can create any combination of colors. Next is the inkjet printers, generally used for home applications, personal use, and these use liquid ink, and these are the cartridges below this one, and above this these are the cartridges specially designed for HP printers. They also use 4 colors. First is the black, then cyan, magenta, yellow, good for printing graphics, and this speed is slower, and but printer cost is low. Every time you have to refill these cartridges or purchase a new one. These are slower than laser printer, but this printer quality is high. Next, printer, in terms of printer comes the plotter. The banners you might have seen, and everywhere banners, lot of banners, bigger size banners. These banners are printed using special kind of printers we call plotters, and you can see this is the plotter, big size, and a banner being printed on graphic being printed on this banner. So far we have covered input devices, output devices. Output devices are those devices which sends the information from the computer to another medium. It could be audio, it could be your display, it could be the printouts, etc. Next term is the memory. In case of computers, what is memory? Generally, memory is here is a definition: storage area to store data, instruction, and information, and reproduce these whenever desired. So memory can hold anything like your photos, your documents, and whenever you require those, you can fetch that data. And broadly it is classified into 2 types: primary and secondary memory. Let's first discuss about primary memory. It's also called main memory. It is further divided into random access memory and read-only memory. In random access memory, today we use only dynamic mem, which is much faster than the static RAM, and this is what the RAM chip look like. This is the random access memory. If you want your computer to be fast, you want to perform multitasking, and you want to play games, perform heavy operations on your machine, this thing, random access memory, should be ample, should be sufficient. More the RAM, the better the system is. This is the random access memory. Left one is for desktop systems and right one is for the laptop systems. And we use generally dynamic RAM. SRAM was the primitive technology. In case of ROM, read-only memory, it's programmable read-only memory, electrically programmable read-only memory, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. And these ROMs are generally used to permanently store some kind of instructions, and whenever the ROM is data is written in ROM, it cannot be removed. Like in case of RAM, data is there only till there is electricity provided. As soon as the electricity goes off, this thing vanishes. All the data in RAM erases. But in case of ROM, the data is independent of electricity. Whether there is electricity or not, the data you place in it stays there. one main difference between RAM and ROM is also the size of ROM is very small, like 1 MB, 2 MB. But in case of RAM, its size may be in GBs. What is GB, what is MB, I will discuss soon. First, have a look at ROM. This is the read-only memory chip, and you might have seen it in your homes, like microwave ovens, to control timing setting when the oven gets off, in your washing machine at home, and your music system, everywhere. Also, when you press the power button of a computer, a special program in the ROM get executed, so that your computer loads up, boots up all those basic functionalities, low level functionalities. Programs are embedded into this chip, and this is how it looks like. ROM, like your in remote control toys, remote control car, remote control helicopters, all those programs are embedded permanently into these ROM chips. And these are non-volatile, means their content is always there, no matter if there is electricity or not. And firmware, used generally to store firmware are the software that are particularly designed for specific hardware. And next thing is the units of memory. What is the need to discuss units of memory? You goes to grocery shop, and you ask the shopper for milk, and he demands you how much milk do you need. You say, I need 1 liter of milk, 2 liter of milk. Liter, notice the thing, liter here. And you goes to another shop. This time you want to buy some cloth to design an outfit for you. Then the person at the shop asks how much cloth in meters you need. 1 meter of cloth for your shirt, 1.5 meter. So you select the 1.5 meter for your shirts, and continue to next shop. And the next shop is a fruit seller, and you ask for apples. He demands how much apple do you need. 1 kg, 2 kg, gram. Notice here, gram, how much gram you need. So in our day-to-day life, these are the called SI units. SI units for length, for weight be used for in case of liquid, liters, and gram in case of solid things, and length. Similarly, for temperature, we use another unit in case of computers to denote memory. How much memory, to express memory quantity in any amount, we use some kind of units. The first and smallest unit of memory is bit, bit. Generally its value is either 1 or 0. The collection of 4 bits be called nibble, and collection of 8 bits be called a byte. The 1024, when 1024 bytes are assembled together, we got 1 kilobyte. Then 1024 kilobytes are merged, we got 1 megabyte. Then we get 1 gigabyte. So smallest unit, this one is kilobyte, then megabyte, then gigabyte. 1 gigabyte equals to approximately 1000 megabyte. 1 terabyte equals to 1000 of a gigabyte. And similarly, these are the unit: terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, and these are the units of memory. The smallest is the kilobyte. Your photograph lies in this range, 2 to 5 MB. Similarly, your songs, your movies and games lies in this range, gigabyte. So higher the value, the terabyte is bigger than gigabyte, gigabyte is bigger than megabyte, and megabyte is bigger than kilobyte. These are the units of memory. And next thing, then I said there are two kind of memory. Primary memory I have discussed. Next is the secondary memory. In secondary memory there are some secondary storage devices. This one is hard disk drive. Hard disk drive, the data stored in hard disk drive stays there no matter whether there is computer on or off. You turn on your computer after 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, it stays there, as far as there is no physical damage constituted to the storage device. Your operating system, your personal data stores in this device. This is hard disk drive, and it comes in sizes initially 500 GB, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, up to 4 terabyte. Size may vary. And this is another storage device. We call it a digital versatile disk or and compact disk. Initially, in earlier times, the operating systems, the songs, the videos were stored in these devices, and today these are rarely used. Next is the USB storage device, flash drive, USB drive, and it's also secondary storage device used to store data. These are your memory cards used in smartphones or another devices like cameras. These are also storage devices. And secondary memory, under secondary memory they come. This is the magnetic tape, primitive technology used to store data. And this is the magnetic reel, data gets stored. Old cassette, any kind of data, audio, video, anything you can store. Recently banks, older banks, there are some banks which also uses these to store data. Major advantage is that you can expand its storage capacity, and very huge amount of data can be stored. But the main problem is the sequential access. Sequential access is that like you are playing a song and you want to skip the first 2 minutes of that song, then you have to play. There is no option to skip that. You have to play first 2 minutes, faster or slower, doesn't matter. Then only you can reach. You cannot exactly say I want to jump to 2 minutes after this song, and this is not possible. Sequentially you have to process all the tape. This was the limitation. And also the speed, data read speed, write speed is also slower. Nowadays I have not seen its applications. And this is the floppy disk. Before hard disk, these were prevalent in use, floppy disk, and these sizes were very less, like 1 MB, 2 MB in kilobytes. Mostly operating system softwares, and also used like a pen drive at that era, in before 2000s. And this is called a solid state disk. This is the successor of a hard disk drive, 10 times to 20 times faster than the traditional hard disk drive. And there is as in hard disk there are movable parts, but you can see there is no movable parts in this device. It is much faster, newest technology to store data. We call it solid state disk. And there are some miscellaneous concepts I have not covered yet, so let's go through them. First one is the motherboard. This is the main board where all the components are inserted. Like I said, this on this slot your rams get inserted, and this is the place where your CPU get inserted. These are the port for your sound card, graphic card, and this is the Ethernet port. for connecting the internet. This is your display monitor. Monitor get connected here. USB port, you can attach any input device, output device here. And for audio, these three ports, the green one is used for speaker and this pink one is used for microphone. This is the motherboard and placed inside a CPU chassis. Next thing is the router. You might have used Wi-Fi internet, Wi-Fi or generally any LAN internet. This is the device behind networking. Wireless or wired internet it provide. And this is another networking instrument, we call it switch. And this device is used to share the internet. You have internet on your one computer, you want to share it with any number of computer. Like you can see here 24 ports are here. These are called Ethernet ports, used to connect the Ethernet cable, and with this system 22 another computers can access the internet. This is we call switch. And this is the Cat6 cable used for networking, and it consists of 2, 4, 6, 8 cables all together inside this shield for making internet connectivity. Same cable is used for cameras and internet. And these are the connectors we called RJ45 connectors. These are placed at these on these ends to connect to the computers. RJ45 connectors, 8 pins are here, and a special tool which we call crimping tool. This is the crimping tool. It is used to attach these connectors to the cable. And extra peripheral device. This is the graphics card, and this is the graphic card for the desktop computers. In laptop computers there is something different, but these graphic cards are used for obtaining higher graphic performance, which traditional motherboard cannot provide, like playing games, performing higher graphic operations in Photoshop, designing something in Illustrator, etc. And this is the output device we call projector. You can connect your computer, your laptop to this device, and it projects the visual information on the screen, on the ball, etc. And this is the HDMI cable. This is the newest standard in display devices, and this is called VGA cable, visual graphic array. HDMI, high definition media interchange. And this is the old standard VGA, and used to connect display monitor to your CPU. And this is the power cable, mostly used in desktop computers. In case of laptop it is different, but in your networking equipment in your desktop, this is power cable is used. And we call it CPU cabinet because CPU is the another smallest component. This is generally a cabinet of a brand Dell, and it holds your all the component, your hard disk, your motherboard, your graphic cards, all the components inside. This is cabinet or CPU cabinet. So that's all, and I hope you understand most of the concept. If you still have any queries, you let me know, and I will help you. Okay, thank you.